And we're in here, and right off the bat, we have a pause, as that tends to be the way it goes nowadays.
Good old Jeffrey, the jungler for ULP, has in fact found himself disconnected.
That
Hopefully he'll be
poor,
back
poor
before too
man.
long.
Probably too busy messing with some people on a rampage, and can you blame the guy? They tend to be a little rowdy over there, as they do kind of have a rampage here too often.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. All right, so
So,
while we wait, we might as well talk lane matchups.
absolutely. Who is your winning lane, top lane, Alex?
As in when I play, or in this specific match here.
This specific match.
Yeah, I kind of figured as much. Yeah, honestly, I would say Ilawi takes this pretty hard because, um, I don't know, just every time this matchup gets played, Ilawi seems to be at a very strong advantage here. She tends to out CS, she tends to be able to burst Jax down. Her scaling just works a lot better into the early and mid game, I think. And Jax usually struggles.
Yeah, I agree. I think Olawi is just such a hardcore lane bully, and she really dominates her lane pretty often. The reason I hate her so much is I feel like every time you play against Olawi, no matter how hard you win lane or you destroy her, she always comes out of lane stronger than you, and it feels awful because she can just have those amazing game-changing ultimates later on. That's mainly
Although,
just, yeah, that's mainly
although,
just in low elo, so
ha, Although, all that said, Jax did, of course, just get the quality of life buff in patch 8.4, which makes his Counter-Strike actually go off when you expect it to as a player, which means that Jax is now a much more responsive and cleaner-feeling champion to play. So, who knows? Maybe a miracle could happen here.
yeah, he doesn't have much to counter. She doesn't tend to auto attack that often. But that being said, he could get off like just for the stun part of the counter. He could get off some good plays there. Jungle wise, who do you think is a little bit stronger in the jungle right now?
I think Sejuani is definitely stronger, but Amumu can farm harder. I think Amumu wins in a straight farm game. Sejuani is going to have more presence in lanes.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Sejuani is all around just kind of a better version of Mumu at this point.
Yeah, with her strong CC and zones of control, I absolutely would be inclined to agree. Although Amumu ultimately, arguably deals more damage, can dish out more damage. But I
Yeah,
guess when
yeah.
your team already has Brand and Kog'Maw and Ilawi, is more damage really what you need?
Yeah, I would have liked to maybe seen Zach or something. He's pretty good right now. Mid lane, who's your winning matchup there?
Absolutely Rise. Absolutely Rise, no question in my mind.
All right, quick and concise. I like it. Bot lane, what are you thinking about support and AD carry here?
Well, personally, I'm inclined to say that Kog'Maw Alistar is going to be a little bit better. And here is my particular reasoning for this. Um, I think that Ezreal Braum is going to be a harder pairing to coordinate and make work. Kog'Maw Alistar just fit together really nicely because Alistar has really, really strong engage and really strong disengage, which is kind of what you need when you have an ADC in your lane like Kog'Maw, who just has no mobility, no escapes. Alistar is going to be entirely in charge of controlling the flow of combat.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think it also kind of depends. Ezreal and Braum is obviously a very aggressive lane. If they're able to get off a few good stuns with Braum's passive, they might be able to win lane. However, Alistar is just so tanky. He's hard to deal with in lane.
Indeed.
So maybe pre-level 6, I would give it to Ezreal and Braum. But after level 6, I think Kog'Maw and Alistar should be fine. Once Kog'Maw gets his Ginsus, though, I mean, he's just going to be kind of destroying bot lane.
Yes, yes, he is. Now, the interesting thing here is just looking at Sejuani as the jungler for Ezreal and Braum, I'm wondering if we're going to see that. I wonder if we're going to see Sejuani kind of camping bot to sort of enhance the aggressive gameplay options that are available for Ezreal and Braum and kind of really help them get ahead before level 6. Will Jeffrey on Sejuani have that cognizance of the fact that there is a ticking time bomb with Kog'Maw in that lane, and know that basically it's going to be partly on him to help bot lane get ahead and shut down the Kog as early as possible?
Yeah, I think Jeffrey is a pretty good jungler, so he might be able to camp down bot lane and get them ahead a little bit. However, it's a really safe lane. I mean, if they had a Tristana, it would be absolutely busted, but Kog'Maw still with Alistar is pretty safe, so it really depends on how successful he is with his ganks and what kind of path he chooses to take there. Because he might even decide to go top lane and help his Jax out, because that's going to be a very hard lane for Jax early on.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It looks like we're almost done with this pause. It looks like Jeffrey is back. He had to restart his client, though, so we're just waiting on him to get back into the game at this point.
So let's talk, since we've gone through the lanes, let's talk the runes. Everything here is pretty much as expected, although I have to be honest, I don't play Rise. What do you think of the Overload pick there? Is that normal? Not Overload, sorry, the Aftershock pick on Rise.
Yeah, that's pretty normal, actually. Rise has been taking Aftershock a lot. He has a lot of CC with it, and I think he benefits from a lot of the other branching masteries you get from that tree as well. So that's a pretty standard pick at this point.
Yeah, makes sense. The thing that I'm kind of intrigued by here is just seeing the Alistar opting for Guardian instead of Aftershock. Guardian perhaps is maybe more in vogue, but it's always nice to see Aftershock get played as well, because I do believe that it is viable.
It's definitely viable, and it's more aggressive, so when you have a champion that you really want to be aggressive with, it makes a lot more sense. I mean, Guardian probably is the better matchup for him here because he has that Kog'Maw, who's not as safe early on, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. We're going to be getting back into game here as both teams signal, and the pause should be getting lifted in 3, 2, 1, and we're back. One thing that we managed to not cover at all, waiting in the pause, do you think there's any chance we see either jungle trying for an aggressive invade play?
I mean, it's possible we see Team 36 do it. No team really has insane CC or Blitzcrank to kind of secure a kill, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to do it, but you never know. They might decide to try to get someone ahead and go ahead and try for that invade. However, I don't think they will.
Yep, and definitely ULP seems to be completely uninterested in anything like that. Team 36 is basically just staying defensive. And okay, I was going to say I was a little concerned at first for Team 36 as they had done absolutely nothing regarding a aggressive jungle red buff steal from ULP there, but Alawi did sneak down there and plop the ward there, so they will at least know about it if it happens, which it won't.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised to not see Brand go over there with Alawi and kind of guard their buff, but he was probably just more worried about them invading him, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So, just looking at items here right off the bat, we see Rise, of course, has built a mana crystal, the Sapphire Crystal for mana, obviously looking to build that Tear of the Goddess as soon as possible. But unlike what happens a lot of the time on Rise, there's no unsealed spellbook, there's no teleport. So he's not going to be able to quickly run back and grab the Tear of the Goddess and get back into the action super quickly. And he did take Cleanse instead. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's a little interesting. I think he was more concerned about the amount of CC that the enemy team has. He's not going to be able to get his Tear of the Goddess right off the bat, but if he does have future to market, he can actually get a few minions, hop back, run back to lane. It just depends if he's able to get his lane pushed in, which he's doing right now. So he might be able to run back and get his Tear of the Goddess pretty quickly.
And he took minion dematerializer here, which definitely indicates that he's interested in being a strong force of wave clear on the team in the later game.
Yeah, later and early on, it looks like he's really pushing aggressively onto this brand. So I think he's decided he's going to run back as soon as he can and get that Tear of the Goddess.
Sejuani's going in for this gank right off the bat. Going in with that dash and forcing out the flash from Illaoi right there. I don't know if that was necessary. But yeah, I understand being spooked. Sejuani's a little scary.
Yeah, I think it was a safer play. She probably could have made it out regardless. Sejuani, however, was about to get off her W on her, so it could have been detrimental if she hadn't, but probably not.
Yeah. And Amumu has invaded Sejuani's jungle here. I'm not sure what exactly his plan is right now, but he has warded, and it looks like he is going to go for an aggressive duel. He's taken, and he has stolen the Grom.
And he had to force Sejuani to back there. That was a really good play on the part of Amumu. Going in there, when he saw that Sejuani up top lane, he saw her kind of go a little bit low on health, and he knew that he could go in there, and he knew where she was at the Grom, so that was really aggressive, but I think it paid off for him in the end.
Very, very strong duel there. Good early skirmish, and he managed to leave behind a little bit of vision there, so be able to help him track her jungle progress. And this should honestly help him stay ahead on CS there, like we kind of said he would. And wow, he's already got a creep score of 26 to Sejuani's 12, and her having to go back certainly does nothing to alleviate that. Oh, here we go. Jack's already being brought low by a tentacle smash that he does nothing to dodge. And it looks like Illaoi might be going for a dive, but no, she will just kind of stay back for now and look for a better opportunity.
Obviously, Sejuani's E being one of the worst abilities in the game. I hate it so much, and it makes me cry every time she uses it on me. I can really relate to this Jax right now. Having to go up against that is just the worst. I feel so bad for him.
Just want to point out here that there are, in fact, 2 wards from Team 36 in the far side bot lane brush. Not entirely sure what happened there, but, you know, maybe it's just really, really safe vision.
It happens. It happens. I know the feeling.
Me too. Me too. Oh, and Jack's trying to clear out a tentacle here, but letting himself get pretty close to Illaoi.
He could have gotten E'd there. That would have been his death, probably, if he had. But he was able to just get that tentacle and walk away.
Bren kind of going out of his way, leaving lane for a little bit, which I think is not all that bad. Recognizing kind of going to have the against him here for a while, and just being willing to leave and kind of set up vision a little bit, enabling Sejuani to come, enabling Amumu to come in and maybe help him with a gank or two later on.
Absolutely. Nothing too crazy happening anywhere on the map. We saw that initial evade from Amumu, but since he has just decided to stay on his jungle, however, we do see a good CS lead mid lane from the Ryze. How that's kind of countered by the Sejuani having such low CS, but still.
It's interesting to note that even though Jax is kind of staying lower and he's getting forced back to his turret, he is right there, even with CS with Illaoi. So Illaoi is not really doing too much so far to really exploit the advantage that she has early in game.
Yeah, I agree.
And Jax is actually dinged level 6 earlier, although Illaoi just hit it as well.
He has had the wave pushing into him the whole time, so he's had more minions.
That's true.
Brand going on mid.
All the way on to Ryze here, but nope, backing off. Oh, cheeky Arcane Comet hit there. And Jax has let his soul get ripped away by Illaoi. Yeah, just little skirmishes all over the map. No one's really doing any all-in engages yet. So far, this game is pretty even. With both teams within 200 gold of each other. Oh, interesting. Nope. Oh, Highmark and Tenga will both back off yet again. Man, smart play from Ryze as he realizes that there is not any vision there. No reason to believe that Amumu is not right there in the north side river brush because no one has vision on it.
This Ryze is doing a really good job against this Sejuani every time he... Oh, we see a gank coming in from Sejuani.
There it is, and Sejuani pulls off a nutty gank to give first blood kill.
Very good job on the side of ULP. That Brand was very pushed in, even though he was very low on health, and he didn't really have a whole lot of vision. Rise going in on the Alawi.
He got kind of cocky. I wonder if he expected Sejuani to be on the north side of the map in the jungle, and he does have a very strong vision presence up there. So I can see why maybe he would think he was safer than he actually was.
I agree. It looks like there's a small skirmish up top lane between Alawi and Jax. Jax barely making it out. Alawi does not have any mana though now.
No.
She is slowly climbing ahead in CS, 52 to his 45 at this point. Rise is very far ahead in CS. He's almost 30 CS ahead of this Brand, doing a really good job at keeping him at bay.
And as both sides of the bot lane are approaching level 6, it's important to note that the shutdown that needed to happen has not yet. Kog'Maw is still very much alive and kicking and is less than 10 CS behind Ezreal. And they have now hit level 6, so like you said, this could start getting pretty bad for Ezreal and Braum pretty soon.
Yeah,
especially as Kog'Maw's approaching a Ginsu's.
Yeah, he has that longbow, he has the pickaxe, so he's got two components of it. That means he's only about 1,300 gold off, if I believe. That means here before too long, he might be able to back and just get his
it looks like
item.
Braum and Ezreal both kind of going a little... Their time is running out. But they will back off again.
They need to go a little bit more aggressive, and they need to get a gank from Jeffrey, who just does not appear to be doing anything.
Well, I'm a little... Well, the interesting thing that I noticed is that for all the advantage and aggression that Ezreal should have pre-level 6, this is actually the first time all game that bot lane has pushed up this far. So they really haven't been being all that aggressive.
Sejuani wanting to gank mid there. She did walk onto a vision ward and had to take it out. Unfortunate on her part. She wasn't able to get that gank off like she wanted.
Mumu clearing Rift Scuttler here. Rise maybe setting up the vision to try to shut it down, but he is going to have to give up that control ward free. Sejuani is there, but it is warded, so she is not going to be able to take Brand off guard.
He's just a little far too pushed in for him to really do anything. Looks like Rise is headed down towards the bot lane, maybe to grab drag, maybe to grab a kill or two. Let's see what they decide to do.
I honestly do think the Cloud Drake is a pretty big pickup for ULP at this point, as they want to avoid grouping up too terribly much. They want to be getting the picks, and for that you kind of need the strong rotations. And Cloud Drake, like I've said, the rule of thumb that I often quote is, if you get 3 Cloud Drakes, it's basically your team having, everyone on your team having Moby Boot.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Looks like Jax does get E'd there, but he's just going to... Alawi's just going to hit it with her wet noodle.
He would rather take a little bit of damage than risk putting more tentacles in his lane. I think that's actually the right call there. Especially since he's got charges of Corrupting Potion up. He is able to sustain himself back up if he needs to. And yet again, he is staying pretty close on the heels of Alawi in terms of CS. It's very, very impressive play from Cute Soraka, managing to take a lane that is classically very, very disadvantaged for him and still make it work. Wow, Rise and Brand throwing spells at each other, and it's like Brand is shooting him with a squirt gun by comparison, as Rise bringing Brand dangerously low and shrugging off an ultimate, although he is finally taken a little bit lower there. Alistar going in with the QW combo. He does not know that Sejuani's there. Amumu going in, blowing Curse of the Sad Mummy onto the back line, and Sejuani is exhausted and down. Amumu just has to get out of there or he is going to die. And Ezreal throws a strong bit of poke. Oh, but Jax is coming in. This could be a kill. And the Alawi teleport coming in as well. Alistar being brought dangerously low. They're throwing an E down, picking up a kill, and another kill in Kog'Maw as well for a 3-0. impressive coordination from Team 36.
Very, very well done. That Jax kind of TP'd into a little bit too early. He probably should have waited for Alawi to TP and tried to stop her TP and then TP'd himself. Unfortunate that she had her ultimate and was able to just pick up 2 kills. Like I said, she is very strong with that game-changing ultimate.
It was actually a really interesting read on Festivus's part as Alawi, because the thing is that Jax went all the way back behind his own tower before he teleported. I think he teleported to a ward that was in the bush. I think he was trying to sneak down there to kind of get that stealth TP down there and hide his absence from Alawi. But Alawi read that he backed off suddenly when he was close to full health and close to full mana, and she knew that he was probably teleporting down there, so she matched his teleport without even really confirming. And that was actually a really strong read from Alawi. I'm very impressed with Festivus's game sense there.
Absolutely. Now Alawi has 2 kills to Jax's 1 death, which is very unfortunate on their part. Jax is gonna be kind of a little bit behind now, especially against an Alawi. You don't want to be that far behind. Ezreal going down as well, and Kog'Maw getting a kill, and now he has his Ginsus, so he's going to have a lot better lane now.
Yeah, Kog'Maw is the opposite of shutdown right now. The only real big edge that ULP has, ULP that was significant, I would argue, was starting to get pretty significantly ahead, although Jack's going in a little bit deep and getting some damage in on Alawi. Real advantage that ULP has left is the strong lead that Rise is starting to accumulate over Brand, but, you know, I'm not sure that could end up being enough. The rest of the team really has to get it in gear.
Amumu just got that Rift Herald as well and gave the Eye of the Herald to the Alawi, so now she's a little bit ahead.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe what needs to happen is Amumu needs to head bot and kind of get a good 3-man camp set up to start to pressure Ezreal and Braum back and kind of compound Kog'Maw's advantage, leaving Alawi with the Eye of the Herald open to be able to do a good split using it.
It would not be a bad idea. Now that Alawi has that Eye of the Herald, she has an insane push over this Jax. He's going to have to be really careful. He's going to have to stay in your top lane at all times, pretty much.
Oh, and she is just going to push it right now. Very interesting and risky play with Jax having Counter-Strike up and available. But he's not able to stop the Eye of the Herald with any hard CC. And Alawi is going ham on this tower here. This is probably going to be a dive. There's the Counter-Strike I was mentioning, but Alawi flashing forward very aggressively with an ultimate and getting the kill under tower. Very impressive play, and that will be the first turret down. Going down on the side of ULP.
A little bit before there, we saw Sejuani lane gank the Brand, and she was able to ulti him, and then Rise was able to follow up with his ulti, and they were able to get Rise another kill, or Sejuani a kill, and now she's a little bit more ahead. That was a really good fight on the side of top side, allowing summoning that Rift Herald and letting it push the tower until it was very low, running it on Jax. He was able to kill it, but then she was able to just immediately take the tower after killing him. He put himself in a very vulnerable position there, and it kind of lost him that skirmish, unfortunately.
Yeah. Like I said, he really needed to try to make something happen. Oh, and we do have another disconnect from the Sejuani, so we might see another pause here. Yeah, it's like I said, I think it was really crucial there for Jax to get in there, because Alawi was right there summoning the Herald in full view of Jax. Jax really needed to use his leap and his Counter-Strike, I think, to try to interrupt that. But he didn't for whatever reason. Maybe it was on cooldown. He was not able to, and that really left him exposed to exactly what happened.
We do see Jeffrey disconnecting. I don't know if they're going to decide to pause or not. It doesn't look like it. However, the enemy team does not know that Jeffrey has disconnected.
Yeah.
Looks like they're not going to pause here. Oh, there we go.
There's the pause coming down. And they have just under 2 minutes left in their pause time. So we'll see if Jeffrey is able to reconnect, or if this is going to have to be a 4v5 or possibly even a forfeit on the side of ULP. I really hope not. This match is going interesting places, and I'd really like to see what happens.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I wonder, will Jeffrey be able to make it back in time to negate this pause? Maybe. It looks like they're going to either play without him or... Yeah, it looks like they're just going to play without him.
Yep, but they do still have a minute, so we'll see what happens. Interestingly enough, let's just take a minute here since we've got the chance to talk about itemization on both sides. Kog'Maw, it appears, has not really been back since his first Ginsu's purchase, so he's probably got to be getting a decent chunk of gold at this point. Just looking at where else item decisions have been made here. Alistar, of course, is right there with him. All he's got is the Mark Treads and the Targon's Brace and a Ruby Crystal, so he probably has money in the bank to be spending as well. It'll be interesting to see what he decides, seeing as how the comp on the side of Team 36 seems to be starting to come around Kog'Maw. As Illaoi has gotten a good, strong early lead, but Kog'Maw is still going to be who they rely on for that damage late game.
Looks like they're waiting to the very last second here to unpause. We'll have to see what they do.
I guess so. And that is the unpause.
So yeah, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and play without Jeffrey.
ULP is going to have to pull something together, but I certainly think at this rate, game 1 is probably going to go to Team 36.
Yeah, I agree. Without that Sejuani, it's kind of crucial to their team fight. They're probably just going to go down south from this.
Illaoi roaming down to mid, probably going to get a... Nice. Although Amumu matching it with a gank, going for a strong tower dive, Curse of the Sad Mummy coming down onto Braum, Ezreal shooting the ultimate out to push them off. And that is both flashes and a heal burned on the side of ULP spot lane.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing a lot more of that now that Jeffrey's not here. They don't have any way to stop them from tower diving and ganking frequently.
Yeah,
Very
basically
unfortunate.
the only thing Amumu really was the counter ganks from Sejuani, but now that those are off the table, he is definitely going to be aggressive.
Oh, most definitely, and we're going to see a lot more of him elsewhere on the map as well, probably trying to get mid-fed now that Ryze has that kill and the assist. Hopefully he decides that he wants to prioritize that and help his brand get ahead. We saw the Illaoi coming down trying to stop the Ryze, but she wasn't able to do anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, not even a summoner burned, and Ryze was still able to get away.
Jeffrey still has not come back at this point. I wonder if he'll be able to. Very unfortunate for ULP that it had to be this way.
Yeah. At any rate, I certainly think that even if this game does end in a forfeit win for Team 36, they definitely proved themselves well enough in the early game that no one will come away saying that ULP got robbed.
Absolutely, Team 36 is doing a really good job in this early game, getting their lanes ahead. Especially that one four-man bot lane fight that they had with the Illaoi.
I still think Illaoi so far is distinguishing herself as the MVP. Festivus is definitely the MVP of this game so far, in my opinion.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. She is doing just such a good job of pressing an advantage against this Jax now. She's got a turret over him. She's got 3 kills over him. She has a full item completed. Jax is still working on his Trinity Force. He opted to go for his Ninja Tabbies as the first item. That's kind of preventing him from getting it. And so now Illaoi is just so far ahead of him. There's not much he can do at this point.
Yeah. Ryze is within 50 mana of completing Seraph's Embrace at this point. Illaoi coming in for another run, possibly looking to get a kill onto Ryze. This is very interesting and smart, Illaoi deciding to do that, because she's already got such a strong kill lead and CS lead over Jax. It makes sense for her to come down and try to help Brand a little bit, as mid lane is the only place that ULP thus far has a little bit of an edge. And Jeffrey is back in the game. So playtime might be over a little bit. Amumu able to solo that dragon. So they definitely were able to make good use of the advantage time that they had.
Absolutely nothing too crazy, but they were able to slowly get a passive lead, which is important. They had that one gank from Amumu. Unfortunately, it didn't go perfectly for them. 2 ganks from Alawi. But now ULP has their whole team back together. Hopefully, they can pull this back for themselves. They might not be able to at this point, though.
Well, you never know. It's not the end of the world yet. Rise is scaling on schedule. He's really good late game. And honestly, the thing is, ULP is less than 2,000 gold behind. There's only one turret down. It's not like Team 36 is pushed all the way up to inhibitors at this point and has 6,000 gold up on them. So we'll see what happens.
Very true. Unfortunately, Sejuani is going to be a little bit under-leveled coming back into the game as she was just not there for so long. She's going to have to really focus on farming, which means Amumu is going to be free to roam however he pleases.
Indeed. Brand going in for an ultimate, which is ultimately going to come to basically nothing as he is pushed back dangerously low. Sejuani coming in. She is back in the game. Mumu having to use his Curse of the Sad Mummy to get away. But here comes Alistar and Alawi on a double roam. Alistar coming in with the QW combo, forcing out the flash from Sejuani. Braum using his shield just to keep her barely alive. Sejuani blowing the Glacial Prison. Ooh, Sejuani putting Rise potentially back into danger with that Blast Cone, but it's okay. Hopefully Tengo doesn't hold a grudge.
I sure hope so. What we kind of saw happen there was Sejuani got such a good gank off, but then there was the roam from Alawi because Jax just cannot keep her at bay at this point. She can go where she pleases, kind of like Dr. Mundo. But she was able to get down there and really help with that fight. Sejuani didn't even see it coming, and she was able to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, not able to secure any kills on the side of Team 36, but still.
But they do get the outer turret at bot lane, even as Jax is able to get the top lane turret to even up top lane in turrets. Looks like we are getting maybe potentially a little bit of a lane swap, as Brand is going top to kind of pick up a little bit of the slack in farm. I will note that, by the way, this is Kog'Maw and Alistar going back for the first time in, like, 10 minutes. As Kog'Maw is able to just buy his rune on straight up. Alistar finishes his Eye of the Aspect, and is well on his way to having the locket.
Yeah, obviously they had waited a really long time in that lane to go back, so now it's going to be a huge power spike for Kog'Maw out of nowhere for the enemy team. Probably should have gone back a little bit earlier so he could have spread that power spike evenly, maybe got himself a few more kills, but can you blame the guy? It's always nice going back and grabbing yourself an completed item.
Yep. Jax here, with Jax going down to bot lane and Alawi focusing on roam for a little bit, Jax is actually catching up in CS pretty astonishingly quickly, though Alawi will go down to bot lane to stop the push and maybe pick up yet another kill onto Jax. But not before Jax is able to pick up evening out the map control between ULP and Team 36.
Yeah, that was a really
Jax teleports to top to go for yet another push. Although here, there goes Brand and Amumu using the Blast Cone to put themselves in position to go very hard onto Jax. Jax is backing here, but no! He is deciding to leap right onto Brand and take advantage of the weak 36's lineup. Although Amumu might still be able to take it down. Jax using his leap onto a very, very cleverly placed ward and getting away.
That was a really good play on the side of Team ULP's top laner. Jax did a really good job there securing the kill onto Brand. He hopped on him as soon as he saw him coming down. He was kind of low walking in there, which was his mistake. And Jax was able to capitalize on that and get a kill. So really good job. And now he's able to push top lane sort of freely. Alawi coming up to match it, but he has a lane pushing now for himself.
So as of right now, what do you think each team should be focusing on just immediately in terms of their next objective? Like, what does cute Soraka up at top was able to kind of get a little bit of an evening of the odds with that kill onto Brand. What do you think ULP should be trying to do to keep themselves in the game?
Yeah, ULP needs to be focusing on putting their pressure on near or afar from objectives. You know what I mean? So having
Yeah.
top lane pushed out so they can have more objective control around Dragon, or having bot lane pushed out so they can have more objective control around Baron. They're on the blue side, so Baron is a little bit easier to get to as they don't have to walk around that circle to get to it.
And although, even as you said that, talking about starting to have that map influence close to those objectives, Team 36 was able to catch the Scuttler and set up a decent amount of vision around the upcoming Drake, which will be an Ocean Drake.
So yeah, like I was saying, both teams really need to be focusing on maybe pushing out the lanes that they want to be pushing to get themselves in a good position to take objectives. So on the side of Team ULP, they probably should be... Oh, there we go.
Ooh, not quite the smite steal that Sejuani was hoping. But Amumu is using Bandage Toss to get away from... Cute Soraka going way deep. Very, very sharp play from... very sharp play from Cute Soraka going in and nullifying the Cog right away. But ultimately, there is just too much there. And both Cute Soraka on Jax and Tango are going down. They're the two people on the side of ULP that are arguably least behind, and they have just been killed in the team fight. I'd say that team fight and the Drake that preceded it are pretty inarguably putting Team 36 ahead in the mid game and setting the pace as we are just passing 27 minutes. Oh, Brand finding himself terribly out of position at the mercy of Sejuani. Amumu a little too busy with red buff to back him up.
Unfortunate, but Amumu did get that red buff, so not the worst thing that could possibly happen. Putting Sejuani just a little bit further behind as she had to go AFK for that time. Looks like ULP is kind of scattered among the map, not really being able to figure out what they want to do here. They are sending the Jax down bot lane to go ahead and push that out and figure what they want to do.
Well, it definitely makes sense to pour some more farm into him. He, as of right now, has two of his items down. And honestly, if he can get up there and get to his next power spike, he could actually be a force to be reckoned with here. Because as we saw, even right now, he's able to take down Kog'Maw if Kog'Maw is not in the perfect position, and he wasn't this time.
Yeah, absolutely. We see Ezreal getting a CS lead over this Kog'Maw. Ryze has a 61, or not a 61, but a 60 CS lead over this Brand, which is absolutely nutty. This Ryze is doing such a good job. I think it might be ULP's saving grace is this Ryze. At least they can hope for it. Looks like Jax deciding to not stay in the bot lane and perhaps... Oh, no, he's just waiting for Amumu to get out of there, and then he's going to continue pushing. They're kind of dancing all over the map, not really sure where they want to go, it looks like.
Sejuani and Braum may be having to back up Brand and Alistar there, but my concern is that Brand is getting... This is the play of a guy who really is looking to get killed again.
Yeah, this Brand has not been very safe. Jack's still pushing out that bot lane. That means that they don't have their engage. They don't have that Amumu, and I think ULP wins the 4v4 because they need all of that engage to really do that effectively. Looks like there's a fight going on bot lane, however.
Jack's going all in onto Amumu there, but having to back off as Amumu manages to get away.
Looking like a little skirmish might have been wanting to happen mid lane, but they decided against it. Just decided to back off there.
It's pretty even control of Baron vision right now. I think that would be what both teams are hoping to get next, but I don't know if either team really has the wherewithal to go for it right now. Rise, though, doing a pretty good job of split pushing, getting the minion wave crashing into the inner turret at top lane, forcing Alawi to split off from the pack at mid and get up there. Like we said at the very beginning of the game, the more that Team 36 has to splinter off and not group up, the better it is for ULP. So kudos to Rise for recognizing a way to make that happen for them.
Absolutely. It looks like ULP really looking to turtle this game out and kind of focus on getting themselves ahead in the slow ways like CS and objectives, as opposed to just going for flat-out team fights, which is kind of working for them. They're kind of getting themselves back in a really good position. Team 36 still doing a good job at not letting them take objectives, but they are doing a good job, not doing such a good job at stopping them from pushing the lanes that they want to be pushing.
Indeed, I could easily see if Rise continues to push up here, I could easily see ULP managing to hang on and take mid turret here pretty soon.
Definitely. It looks like they're getting some vision down towards Baron on the side of Team 36, maybe deciding to take that. Never mind, they decide to go back mid. We don't see.
But it makes sense though. They don't want to get split any more than they absolutely have to. So it makes sense for them to want to maintain strong control over Baron so that they don't have to keep going and babysitting it.
Yeah, definitely. As we approach the 30-minute mark, we see Rise hitting 300 CS, doing a great job. Alawi's at 309. Jax is only at 278. However, he is starting to push bot lane. It looks like their goal in this game at this point is just letting Jax and Rise maybe split push and running 1-3-1 and kind of having their team split off to take objectives, which is a really strong play, it looks like, because Team 36 isn't really able to answer it too much. We see
Ooh, and Glacial Prison going down. Not really much else. I'm not sure what the game plan was there. They didn't really have anyone there to fight. I mean, Ezreal's there, Braum is there, and Sedge was there, but I would argue that they need at least one of Rise and Jax in order to have a good fight there. They have been able, like I said, though, to put mid in. Brand out of position again, and even in the face of an ultimate.
Beautiful.
Sorry,
looks like Rise.
Ultimate.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like Rise was coming down and help her. She might have been able to get that kill on Brand, but he was able to narrowly get away. Kog'Maw and Alistar near him to stop it. Jax, it looks like, is soloing the dragon, and that's an Ocean Drake going to the side.
That's good. They've evened up the sustain buff from Drakes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So ULP very, very slowly turtling this game in their favor, it looks like. Not trying to play aggressive anymore at this point.
Once again, they are less than 2,000 gold behind.
And at this point, I don't think they would win in a team fight, honestly, because ULP, I mean, not ULP, but Team 36 has that Kog'Maw, they have that Brand, they have the Mumu and the Lowy, so there's not much they can do. So it looks like instead they've decided to kind of go for the split push and win the game through turtling, like I was saying, which, I mean, is really what they should be doing at this point. Rise pushing in that bot lane turret there.
Ezreal, who was behind, now actually ahead of Kog'Maw in CS. Rise literally over 100 CS ahead of Brand. And Jax even managing to catch up with Alawi for the most part. So they're doing a very good job of farming the map while they turtle out the game.
Definitely.
And any minute now, they are going to manage to take down the outer turret and once again even out the turrets.
Hopefully, that's what they need to be looking to do. The Team 36 is doing a great job at not letting them siege on their towers, however, answering the split pushes. Alawi going up against Jax. At this point, I think Jax could probably beat her in a straight-up 1v1.
Yep. Alistar going in with an engage that I'm not sure what he was going for there. He didn't get anything from it.
Looks maybe like Jax is down there. I think he's going to be able to take that tower, however...
here's the problem. All 5 of... And... Oof.
And would you look at that? They just... would you just look at them? They just got right out of that. That was such a good job outside of ULP.
Yeah, but Team 36 is now going for Baron, though. Jax... But if it doesn't work out, Jax is pushing hard. onto the bot turret. He is going all the way to the inhibitor if he can. Braum and Ezreal kind of dancing on the periphery, but they are not going to be able to stop Team 36 from taking the first Baron of the game. Braum getting caught by the Soul Snatch. Alistar forging away into the jungle, but deciding to back off instead in the face of Sejuani and Ezreal. Amumu going in, Kog'Maw trapped in the Baron pit, but Amumu laying down a Curse of the Sad Mummy for Kog'Maw to be able to get in and do some damage, but Kog'Maw getting locked down for a moment by Sejuani. Brand coming dangerously low, Ezreal having to bug out, Sejuani using the Blast Cone to escape as well. Ultimately, that is a kill and a Baron in exchange for 2 turrets and an inhibitor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of Jax.
I feel like ULP almost really won that one with Jax being able to get an entire inhibitor off that. However, looks like Ezreal might be getting caught out here.
Insane tower dive onto Ezreal. Loki Dosi going down. Inner turret at mid getting taken down by Team 36. Sejuani kind of hanging out in her jungle. She needs to get in there and help here because Ryze is about to go down. Alistar staying alive by the skin of his teeth as Ryze just gets shredded. And inhibitor gets taken back by Team 36.
It looks like Team 36
teleporting in for a 5-man team. They won the game. Jax has his Counter-Strike up and running, but he doesn't manage to catch anyone. One Nexus tower starting to go down as keeps the team locked down. Look how strongly he stays alive. ULP getting pushed back almost all the way onto their platform as Team 36 takes down a second turret. Nexus is at a 3rd health, and Nexus goes down game 1. 6.
Wow, that was something else. If you didn't see what happened there, that was amazing. Team 36 got that pick on the Ezreal, which really is what lost ULP the game. Very unfortunate for ULP. They had to kind of lose that one because of the Ezreal. That sucks to suck on Team ULP's part. Really unfortunate.
Insane work from Team 36. Seeing the moment and taking it. That was awesome. Just looking at the post-game here. You know, the interesting thing is that even though I kind of had this mentality of Ryze being very strongly ahead, and he definitely was for it. If you look at the damage graphs, Ezreal was staying right up there with Brand. Ezreal and Brand were both the ones who led in damage. Kog'Maw actually kind of disappointing. I don't know if he wasn't in enough team fights to really keep up, but Ezreal doing more than twice the damage that Ryze did. He actually was in it and he was fighting. So Ezreal actually kind of sneakily being a low key super carry for ULP, but then he got caught and it wasn't really enough. I gotta say, amazing play from Team 36, and I gotta give Game 1 MVP to Festivus on the Alawi for sure.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. That was some really exemplary Alawi play on that part. She was able to get a really good lead and kind of end the game out that way.
Yeah, wow. I still can't believe what I just saw. That was incredible. Just nutty work from Muha and Amumu at the very end there. Just getting in there and throwing down CC and being able to just push back ULP. Because if you notice, ULP lost that game with 3 of their 5 still up.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate that Ezreal did die there. That kind of lost them so horribly, which really stinks. They had that Baron buff, so they were just able to end the game out at that point.
Yeah, I definitely have a feeling that some of the Baron buff changes and the Elder Drake changes are going to be partially reverted in 8.5, because there has been a lot of criticism, especially at the high competitive level, just basically coming down to Baron coin flips, where it's the team that manages to win the Baron fight and take Baron that wins.
Definitely. Those Baron buffs that I mean, no, people kind of often overlook that kind of stuff, but the Baron buffs are absolutely insane. I mean, the Elder Drake's even more insane, giving you a 5-minute Elder Drake buff with like a doubled all of your current buffs as well from the dragons. I mean, that's just completely insane, and everybody kind of looks past that.
And we are about to be going straight into draft for Game 2 pretty soon here. I have received the link from the team captains, so we will be pulling that up pretty soon here. Which kind of segues nicely into what how do you think bans change going into Game 2?
I don't necessarily think that ULP needs to ban anyone specifically. Maybe the Alawi if they really, really want to. Maybe the Kog'Maw, but it was really their picks that lost them that game, if you ask me. Their picks just weren't as good as they needed to be. They didn't really pick anyone who was especially strong in the meta or especially good with their team comp, so it's kind of what lost them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they stick with their standard bans, maybe add Alawi, maybe add Alistar. I don't know, but I think they really should be focusing on their picks at this point. And we see the bans coming out from Team 36. We'll see what they decide to go for here.
Yep. I think this game, Team 36 sticking with their Twisted Fate, ULP sticking with their vibe. So far, the bans are exactly the same as they were in Game 1.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see any variation here, honestly. I think they had good bans the first time. There was nothing wrong with them. Yeah. Just like I said, there was the picks mainly.
Because I think
banning out that Varus.
I think you do. I think you. Game was winnable with. This game was absolutely winnable with the draft that they had. It's just they needed to play it a little. Kog'Maw needed to get shut down. Ilaoi needed to get shut down. Really, it all does go back to that one 4-man team fight at bot in the very early game. If Ilaoi hadn't been able to get that TP in, if she hadn't made that read on Jax, that whole team fight might have gone differently.
Definitely. We see the Kog'Maw ban coming out, which I don't necessarily agree with. Oh, looks like ULP is deciding to change up the picks, but like I was saying, that Kog'Maw pick wasn't really what won them that game. Kog'Maw wasn't even that strong, if you noticed. It was just ULP's general lack of a hyper carry, honestly.
Absolutely. We do see the Alistar getting picked. ULP very much changing up their lineup as we have seen Morgana and Zac getting picked. I actually kind of think that this might be mid Morgana, not support Morgana. Ilaoi and Sejuani. So far, Team 36 has is trying to build a similar squad, except slotting in Sejuani instead of the Amumu.
And that's honestly a lot better. I think if Team 36 continues on with the same team comp they've got going right now, maybe picking up a Tristana or perhaps a Xayah or something else, maybe even a Twitch, they could probably win this game. They have such a strong team comp. That being said,
we see the Vayne getting picked by ULP here.
That is a good hyper carry. I think that might be able to help them win this game if they do decide to go ahead and maybe pick up focusing on that bot lane and getting them ahead. They do ban that Caitlyn. Maybe not the best ban. I would have rather seen maybe a mid laner ban, but I can't blame them. Caitlyn's still pretty strong 80 carry. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to ban out maybe Twitch or...
Team 36 does opt to ban the Rise, though. They really don't want to get shut down as hard. This could actually open the door for them to just go ahead and pick Brand again if they think that Brand's performance was mostly due to Rise being able to shut him down, which is maybe a fair assessment because Rise does tend to shut Brand down pretty hard.
Definitely. I think that ULP now is out of... Oh, nope, they banned that Tristana. Let's see what Team 36 decides to ban. They might be out of ban. I cannot remember. They might have subbed someone in.
I do not believe that they lose a ban game in this game. I think they dropped a ban in Game 1 because of the sub, but they do have the same squad now. So I believe that they keep all of their bans this time.
Maybe not. It looks like they're not banning anyone particularly. Yeah, I think they're out of a ban here. But yeah, oh no,
Nope,
never
there's
mind.
the Braum.
Spoke too soon. I'm a big dumb baby now. Tristana being banned by ULP makes a lot of sense. I was saying. Now Team 36 is pretty much up to either pick the Twitch or the Xayah. That'll kind of be what determines whether or not they win that bot lane.
It's kind of interesting because it looks like I was saying, Morgana mid lane for a support pick, and Team 36 also seems unsure and went ahead and banned a mid laner and a support pick because they're not sure which one ULP is still going to pick.
It makes a lot of sense. Braum really was a good support in that game. ULP, their team is looking kind of like all eggs in one basket right now, with the Vayne being their main source of damage.
Indeed, indeed.
Let's see if they decide to either pick up a support or Sivir.
There's the one of the pocket picks. As Sivir is a very comfortable option for Reformed, the ADC for Team 36.
Yeah, I would have rather seen maybe a Twitch or a Xayah, but that being said, Sivir is a very strong AD carry right now. She can be a sort of a hyper carry-esque, but she does a lot. She's almost a caster AD carry, sort of in this same vein as Lucian or Jhin almost.
I almost wonder if this is sort of if Sivir, purposely because it is kind of sort of less meta pick right now. Because you notice that in their first game, they had Illaoi, very strong top. They had Brand, very strong mid. They had Kog'Maw and Alistar. And then Amumu, which was a little bit of an odd man out sort of pick. I'm wondering if this is kind of part of their strategy in playoffs, where they have very strong meta team with one weird pocket pick.
Absolutely, and it looks like we're done with picks and bans here. Honestly, team comp wise, I think that ULP has that stronger team comp personally. I mean, not ULP, but Team 36 has the stronger team comp personally.
Me too. I honestly think Morgana in the support here. I think that this is potentially a big mistake because they're putting all of their eggs in the Vayne basket, like you said. Although Orianna being, is good, but it really is kind of depending on Vayne to hyper carry. And the thing is, I think that they're going to be playing a bot lane that they're not comfortable with because, like I said, ULP has not played a single match, official Risen match this season, where they didn't run a tanky support bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I think the issue with ULP's team is that they're all kind of walk up to you and kill you champions. They have Vayne, Morgana, Cho'Gath, and Orianna. The only person who has really some sort of hard engage is the Zac.
Yeah, that's it.
So Orianna is going to have a hard time picking who she wants to use her ultimate on. I mean, it's going to make a lot of sense to keep the ball on Zac and have him engage with the Orianna ultimate follow up. It just really depends.
It is kind of weird because I feel like, oh man, what is Orianna? Orianna's ultimate, of course, one of its strong suits is being able to get people bunched up for a strong engage. And oh man, what is Orianna hoping to set up for?
Yeah, I don't know. And it looks like we're back in the lobby. Maybe something happened here. Oh, no, we're switching.
I think we just had a snafu with champ select.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I'll go ahead and switch us back over. Yeah, it looks like there was just something messed up with the champ select. It took us right back in, though, and we have the current picks and bans going back in here.
Mm-hmm. Man, oh man. Whew.
Man, oh man. Absolutely.
So we are seeing still the Illaoi from Team 36, and we are still seeing the Alistar. ULP though has cycled out their team comp, and there's a lot of bizarre picks here. This is just weird. I have to wonder almost because a lot of these are actually picks that have not been that have been either picked not at all in Risen matches or only once or just like only once. So I'm kind of wondering if they're trying to fixate on the element of surprise here. And mostly I'm saying this because I'm just not sure what else they have going for them.
Yeah, this seems almost like a last-ditch effort. I mean, they did pick up a tank, they did for their top lane, and they did pick up that Zac, which they're both good picks. It's just, it seems sort of like a last-ditch effort to kind of push together a team last minute and figure out where they had the flaws last game and pick it up perhaps. But I don't know. It's really odd, like you were saying.
Oh man, I am just kind of unsure as to what the plan is, and the more I look, this just looks like a very unfortunate combination of lanes too, as pretty darn near every single lane is either pretty even or swings in the favor of Team 36. Illaoi, once again, Team 36 has picked a top lane into Illaoi that is hard countered by Illaoi. Historically, Cho'Gath struggles against Illaoi. And maybe that doesn't matter as much because Cho'Gath will scale into late game with his passive and his ultimate, but I don't know. This is a little weird to me.
Yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits right now. It's going to be crazy here going into this matchup. Cho'Gath and Illaoi is not a very strong matchup on the side of ULP. Cho'Gath he kind of gets destroyed early game by Illaoi, but hopefully he can scale into the late game, take out that Sivir. She does have that spell shield, so if he does decide to just kind of run at her and ulti her, he is kind of SOL.
Yeah. So it seems like the only way that that ULP can really win this game is if they get Vayne fed and Loki Dosi carries.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I sure hope so.
I mean, meanwhile, over on the ULP side, meanwhile over on the Team 36 side, man, they've got more options. Malzahar could get fed, Sivir could get fed, and definitely seems like an earlier game composition than before.
Definitely. I think on the side of Team 36, they just have they have a lot of engage, whereas ULP has like a lot of soft engage, but not a lot of hard engage, in the same vein that Team 36 has. All right, so we're going into our spectator delay here, and we'll go ahead and take a break for a hot minute, and we'll get right back to you guys. We'll see ya in a little bit. Peace out. We love you.